There is no one solution. It's going to take a lot of elements in order to address the situation here. You have to invest and rebuild many of these communities and neighborhoods that have been ravaged by coronavirus and so many other elements. So you have to do that. You have to make investments. You have to put people back in a position so they can take care of their families. We do need more mental behavioral health funding. Those things are needed. You had a guy that walks up and said, for whatever, shoot me. So what's the underlying element behind that? So we do need more mental behavior funding. We do need more funding for substance abuse. We're addressing the homelessness issues. Domestic violence is very serious. And when I look at the numbers, and I look at them, for a significant number of cases, especially on these homicides, or when people either knowing somebody or there's a relationship of some kind there. So let me just say to the general public in the city of Houston, 99% of people in the city of Houston are abiding by the laws, okay? And quite frankly, for a large percentage of the crimes that are taking place in our city, especially as it relates to homicide, it involves people who either know one another or there's some sort of relationship there. So people too have to assume some responsibility, and the whole community must play an active role. But if you ask me whether or not this is a safe city, I'm going to tell you absolutely hell yeah, it's a safe city. Yes, it's a safe city. Now, if you're focusing individually on every single crime that's taking place every day, and if that's what people are constantly hearing, then people are going to assume, oh my God. But for 99% of the people in this city that live in this city, that's doing business in this city, they're fine. They're fine. Now, if you engaged in buying and selling drugs and the transaction goes bad, you should have been doing it in the first place. I started to say something else, but I went to church on Sunday. You shouldn't be doing it in the first place, okay? For people engaged in domestic abuse and violence, no man or woman has the right to victimize or abuse somebody else. So that's a no-no, okay? So when you look at the different categories that I look at every single day, and I look at these numbers every single morning, okay, then you have to target your resources in those particular areas and you move them around. Now, with respect to clubs and nightclubs, I'll go even further than what Chief did, okay? People jam-packed. When you combine guns and booze and people in close proximity, bad things can happen. And so when nightclubs, for example, when they're checking to see whether the male comes in with a gun, but they're not checking to see whether the woman is coming in with a gun, and in some of these cases, the guns are passed to the woman, and they're coming into the clubs and then they're exchanging. Well, from a city council perspective, we're going to have to take a look at that. Okay. So you do as much as you can. It's not an easy situation. It's not a situation that the police officers are going to be able to get on top of by themselves. The community has to get all the way into this game, which means if you know somebody that's about to commit a crime or has committed a crime, I'm pleading with you to make the information available and then help us to do our jobs. And then we'll have an even safer city, okay?